stomach.
This is the 2010 winter solstice party at David Sutherland's house. The lunar eclipse was last night. No one was up to watch it.
Did you see it? Did you wake up? How was
Except
it?
for Natalie.
Cloudy.
It was very cloudy.
It was cloudy. We ran outside. It was up
Could you see
at
anything?
2 o'clock. I could not see anything.
Yes, very cloudy. There's
But I did run
David.
outside.
Wow. We'll be back.
Okay, more later. Oh, there's Joni and Alan. Happy holidays.
My mother is here, which is nice. We got more people coming, but I don't want to keep eating. So I'm thinking that maybe we should go ahead and start eating. And we will we'll do the gift giving kind of ritual, social wish ritual in just a little bit. But wanted to get y'all to have a snack first. So help yourselves. Okay. And thanks for coming.
Most of y'all have heard this before, so I don't want to get redundant, but I think the best way to appreciate solstice is to put yourself in the mind of ancient times in the northern hemisphere, and probably fall, the most wonderful time of the year. It's full of plenty. It's cooler than the summer without insects, but it's not really cold. It's pleasant. And but as it progresses, cold weather starts settling in, and there are good things about that. You have fireplace hearths and family and coziness, and probably can gain better in the snow, and all the things that were important to people before the invention of agriculture were very valuable at that time. But I guess the thing about it was, that as you get to the end of fall, it starts getting cold, and the wind becomes fierce, and the days become short. And most ancient peoples followed the sky. That was their religion. That was how most religions came from following the sky. And as the sun became smaller and smaller in the sky and set sooner and sooner, that's very disquieting to people in a time when cold weather could often mean starvation, because as it becomes colder, it takes a lot more energy to survive. Your body needs a lot more calories just when those calories are not available. So it's a very scary time for people pre-civilization. So I think for that reason, the idea of solstice, the idea of the sun growing smaller and smaller in the sky, became a part of the tradition of almost every religion on the planet, particularly in the northern hemisphere. That's what we're talking about, basically. And on that day, today, in late December in our time, the sun would suddenly turn. It would suddenly become larger, and it became known as the day the sun returns. And it was a great day of celebration, because what it meant was that the cycle had shifted, and that now the sun was going to become larger. And even though winter was ahead and winter was going to be fierce and difficult, it was going to end, because every day the sun was higher in the sky, it was larger in the sky. It was like a beacon of the future. It was like a resurrection that would lead you to better times. And the early Christian church adopted solstice as the birth of Christ, because they really didn't know when Christ was born. And the Emperor Constantine had made everybody in the Roman Empire an instant Christian, and there was a lot of deals being made, and one of the deals was to get various pagan cultures into Christianity. And what better way than to adopt their most important holiday as the birth of Christ? So Christmas is an adaptation of solstice, and the 25th of December, by our calendar, was the first day that you could really see the change in the sun with the naked eye. So it predates the Christian Christmas as a day for solstice. Now, as people become more sophisticated. We have better astrology now. I mean, better astronomy. I'm sorry. Now we know that solstice is the 21st or the 20th, depending on the calendar is imperfect. The solstice is always at the same time. Sometimes our calendar says it's the 21st. Sometimes usually it says it's the 21st. Sometimes it says the 20th. Sometimes it says the 22nd. But it's not solstice that changes. It's the calendar that changes because the calendar is a human creation. It's imperfect. So let's see. This year, as you probably all know, we had this extraordinary event of a full moon lunar eclipse on solstice, which only happens about once every 400 years. So, I'm not going to comment on what that meant to early people. So if you can imagine having the two most prominent features in the sky, the sun and the moon, one getting smaller and smaller and the other one going away on the same day that the sun turns, that must have been a very dramatic event. And since it only happened every 400 years, there probably wasn't a lot of history coming forward from the previous event. So it was probably a time of very unsettling activity in the sky. So I'm not going to comment on that. As you probably know, that most European cultures, particularly Northern Europe, refer to it as Yule or Yule time. That was adopted into Christianity, and you'll have Yule logs and all sorts of things like that, which y'all are familiar with. The Anastasi, Stonehenge, many other architectural features around the world have a special place for the winter solstice when the sun will shine through to the altar at just the right moment as the sun turns. So it's obvious that throughout human history this has become a very special day. Now, you probably, at least for me, you think about when I was a kid. Of course, I was probably not your standard kid, but I was always, when I first heard about the way the Earth wobbles in its axis and how, this happens, the sun gets smaller, I was always terrified that on the 21st it wouldn't stop. It would just keep going. We would lose our weather and everything would be destroyed, and so I was always, as a little kid, I would curl up in my bed on the 21st of June and the 21st of December, worried that the sun wouldn't cooperate, just keep on going. But luckily, it always cooperated and did the right thing, and everything was in balance. And so you have sort of as many people who care about the environment refer to the Earth as Gaia, and as Gaia is in balance as the sun comes back. And today, we live in a culture of superabundance. We have more than we can eat, more than we should eat. We can feast every day if we want to. That's why so many of us are obese, me too. But I think it's unfortunate because in ancient times, the feasting was a celebration of the harvest and everything that accumulated through the summer, and you were preparing for the hard months, and so you were having a celebration. You were appreciating the bounty, that God or whoever had given you. So now we have anything we want. We can feast every day. You can run from your warm house. You can actually program your car to warm up before you get there, and have a seat. You can have electric seats and have it all toasty. So we basically have the opportunity to do nothing unpleasant in our life. We can go from a warm house to a warm car to a warm office and back again. We don't really need to. We become totally disconnected from the natural world. And I think that's one of the big problems with our culture and with a lot of people's. People have a lot of problems coping these days because they're no longer connected to what happens in the natural world. And if you just get out there and feel it, enjoy it, and understanding what's happening, then suddenly your importance evaporates, and the universe becomes significant, and you become part of that. And so it's much easier to live your life, much easier to be a happy person if you're connected to that. And so I think from my perspective, the best thing to do in this season is to be generous, to give to people, to not to be materialistic, to not expect a lot, and to basically use as few of the world's resources as you can, because I think that's the key to keeping a healthy planet and a healthy future for everyone. And I think that's about it.
All right.